Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. So this is a video of Brett Cooper where she talked about her journey on the Daily Wire, how she grew and how fast it was for her and everything that went down. And you guys, I'm excited for this. If you're here to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this one is all about.
So like 2 million subscribers 1 year. I think, how many did you get in the first 4 months? I think it was like 700,000 subscribers in a few months.
I hit 1 million in 6 months, or in 5 months.
What was that like for you? And where did that audience come from? Was that Ben's audience navigating over to you because maybe there's a bit of a resemblance?
I think
or is
initially,
it like,
yes. So we did not do any paid ads for my channel at all. In fact, Daily Wire did a very, very soft marketing campaign. Like there was barely anything. I remember in my pitch with Jeremy, when we like brought the show in front of him, he didn't even know really who I was at the time. And the CMO had brought me on and I was like, hey, I'm the little kid that's here trying to, get a show approved. And he watched the pilot, which was so bad. And he looked at me and he said, I don't understand the show. It's not for me, but I know it's for somebody else. It's not really for our audience, but I know it's going to reach somebody else, so let's try it. And I mean, literally threw us like a few grand to put together a set. Took some team members from like our social video team and we're like, just try it and see what happens. So I did my own promotion on my like social video channel or my social media channels, and I had been doing like some Daily Wire videos, like news hits and that sort of thing. So I think I was probably up to like 20,000 like followers at that point.
Sure.
I still didn't have a YouTube channel. So there were some people who knew who I was in the Daily Wire circle, and then I did one hit on Ben's show and announced the show, and that was it. I don't think any of the other hosts talked about it. Candace didn't even know that I had a show or who I was for like 6 months because nobody told her.
Yep.
It was like a trial and error. They did not put any paid or anything. So I think some of it migrated over, and Daily Wire would repost me every once in a while. So I think the initial like bulk, I would say maybe under 100,000 came from the Daily Wire audience. But then it's just been.
Where did the rest come from? Was that just a series of videos that you posted that did well?
Yeah.
What was the...
shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was not something I really knew a lot about, but I was already doing a ton of organic content for Instagram and TikTok. And so that made its way to YouTube. And one thing I think I've done differently is that all of my shorts content was original. It wasn't clips from the show. It wasn't anything like that. It was all like, this is designed for YouTube or for YouTube Shorts.
In the beginning, how did you pick topics to talk about? Was this on you, or would they come to you?
And it still is on me.
So
I create the show, I pick the topics, I pull all the comments. If there's anything that I want to write, sometimes it's off the cuff. These days I'll kind of have like bullet points of points I want to hit. If there's a message that I want to leave people with, sometimes I'll write that out if it feels a little more touchy, but it still is pretty improvised. And I just research the subject really well, and I try to become an expert on that like one little thing every day. And then share it. So I still do all of that. But it was basically just living on social media, and it still is. And so most of my content is social media heavy. I will only cover something if it is like trending on social media or if I notice that it's about to. So that can mean like literally trending on Twitter, or if it's a trend on TikTok that is like picking up, or a thing in society that has, whether it's a social media trend or just a trend in general in the original sense of the word. And so I would find things through there, and then, it's called the comment section. That was kind of the get of the show, and the angle was that I wasn't just like talking about a subject, just my opinions, but I was going into the comments and actually trying to get people's actual opinions about it.
Yeah.
So I'd get people on both sides of the aisle, on both, sides of whatever issue I was talking about, and read those comments, and it was fun to, kind of act them out and use my acting background and make it really, really fun. And then I wanted it to be really, really punchy, because I know my generation, I know that I hate watching long form content because our attention spans are dead due to TikTok. So it was very, very fast paced. So I wanted like memes, like we had our first, editing run. It was like, we need more. It was like more cowbell, like more memes, more fast cuts.
Grim
I
hates that.
Yeah. But it works. I mean, that's like, that's what my generation needs. It's like, I need my attention. Yeah.
I'm saying. He always rejects
I watch my own TikToks, like sound effects, zoom in.
That's what I love.
B-roll over here, sound effects. I'm like,
I mean, I wish I didn't love it.
But it works.
But for young people, it's what we are.
With text on screen.
Yep. You got to have so many things flying. So we really worked very hard on creating that that style. And then I wanted, the comments were kind of a unique thing. And then obviously that I was going to be, more right-leaning was a different thing because there wasn't really anybody in that space that was doing this kind of like laid-back cultural commentary streamery type stuff that was really on the right that was my age.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's a lot of them that are, 35-year-old dudes, but like a 19-year-old girl, like that's not really the normal thing.
Right.
But yeah, so it was on social media primarily, and I started off doing more newsy political things. I strayed away from that just because I've gotten far more disinterested in that.
Why did you lose interest?
Because I obviously think that politics matter, and I'm interested in politics on like an academic and intellectual level. I think it's interesting. I care about learning about it. But Andrew Breitbart once said, and I think it still holds weight, that politics is downstream from culture. And so it starts with culture and the conversations that we're having every single day. And it starts with values. And that's how I was raised. That's what I care about. I care about, looking at trends on social media and saying, why is this something that people care about? And I think that we can talk about, social media trends and cultural things and movies and TV in Hollywood without a political angle, but just talking about like what is driving these people to believe this way. And in my mind, a lot of that goes back to like my current critique with my generation, I would say, is that it's driven by this desperate need for both attention and to victimize themselves. I think that victimization is holding most of my generation back. I think we hold ourselves back a lot of the time. And we know that being a victim these days does give you more attention. And so it's things like that where it's like I'm not directly talking about politics and theory and like this new law, but I'm talking about things that do by default influence politics. And I also think that talking about things that are more cultural and are more value-based, number one, they interest me, but I think that it's easier to connect with people on a human-to-human level that way. It's less polarizing.
I get that.
I can have so much more empathy with people, and I think people find me more relatable because of that. And when I'm talking to people who are on opposite sides of the political aisle, that is where we find the most common ground, is by talking about this. And then being able to say like, oh, okay, so now I see why you think that the way you do, because of this value that you hold, or because of this, let's talk about it in the context of culture. And you're able to reach so many more people, and you're able to find so much more common ground. And I think it makes my content maybe more digestible for people, I would say, because it doesn't come across as like, I'm going to hit you over the hammer with like, let's talk about Trump, let's talk about Biden. It's like,
but don't you think it's also easier to talk a little bit more about like drama topics or maybe topics that hit on a more emotional level than
exactly.
like logical?
Yes. Yeah. And people are driven by emotion these days. And I've said this publicly before on the show, and I love Ben, and, he's a mentor of mine. And I think, facts don't care about your feelings. It's such a fun, punchy line. But I think, especially with my generation, they don't really care about facts. It's like emotions are dictating so much now, whether that's better or worse. That's something we can all relate on. That's the human-to-human connection. And obviously, facts are important at the end of the day. But if you can't reach somebody emotionally, whether that's a positive emotion or a negative emotion, like, facts will go out their ear. They don't care. And especially in a time when we see so many, whether it's, scientists or politicians, the media lying about facts or changing them, like literally just, saying an outright lie or getting the facts changed in order to fit an agenda or a narrative. It's like, okay, so then if they're doing that, then how do we reach people?
Yeah.
With emotion? And that also, as like somebody who comes from like an acting and a storytelling background, and why I loved acting so much in addition to it being an escape, was that it allowed me to tap into the emotions that I was too scared to deal with as a child and was too scared to feel or express. And so I really, really understand the importance of connecting to people on that level and reaching people at that level. And so it makes me happier too. And so as a content creator, I feel more fulfilled in what I'm doing because I read my comments and it's less about people, being fired up about some political policy or being angry at Joe Biden, which gets so tiresome. I don't want to talk about him anymore. It's boring. I don't want to talk about Trump anymore, whether it's positive or negative. It's boring. But hearing people's anecdotal stories and the way that they are emotionally responding to things in the world right now is really interesting to me.
You guys, that was such an interesting one from Brett Cooper, and I enjoyed this interview so much. Brett Cooper is so young, but yet so wise beyond her age, so intelligent, and I love how she broke down everything that has to do with her show and how she knew exactly what her audience needed and fed them exactly that. Let me know what you guys think about this interview. The way she grew on the Daily Wire was something totally out of this world, and it's so sad that the Daily Wire lost such a bright, intelligent young lady. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, because I know that Brett Cooper coming back is going to be something totally out of this world. Imagine she haven't even posted a video, but she has passed 500,000 subscribers. That is beyond me. I don't think anybody has ever done that on YouTube. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.